Okay, Chiron and Taurus. I don't know where everybody is, but you guys are here. That's the main thing. It is going into Taurus on Friday, on Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, okay? Yes. This is going to be a very long transit. Hey, Maya, it's going to be in Taurus until 2034, but it's going to retrograde back into Aries. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? So Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron is an asteroid / comet. It's a planetoid, whatever they call it. It was discovered in 1977, okay? It orbits between Saturn and Uranus. It orbits the sun between Saturn and Uranus. So it's considered to be a bridge between the past, which would be Saturn, and the future, which would be Uranus, okay? So think of it as like that gateway. Chiron, do you guys know the myth of Chiron? I'm not really versed in Greek mythology, but I will dive into it. According to the Greeks, Chiron was the healer. Is that your intuition? Yeah, that happened to me today, Maya. Okay. Chiron was the healer and the teacher who could not heal himself. Okay, he was the son of Kronos and nymph Philyra. I hope I'm saying that right. Philyra. He was born half man, half horse. His mother saw him and was like, I know this is not my baby, right? And rejected him. Hey, Carice. So that was his first wound. Then he caught a poison arrow from Hercules. That was his second wound. Even though he was a healer, he lacked the medicine to heal himself. Hey, Amira. So he essentially had to live with that pain forever, right? Because he was immortal. So he would just be experiencing that day after day. So eventually he sacrificed his immortalities to save Prometheus, and Zeus honored this sacrifice and turned Chiron into a constellation. I know some people get it confused with Sagittarius, but whatever. I am not the Greek mythology expert, so you can do a deep dive into that if you're more interested in astrology, which is what we're going to talk about. Chiron is our core wound and how we heal it. When Chiron is in a sign, we're all dealing with this energy, right? You have your natal Chiron, but then Chiron transits the zodiac. So we have the ability to turn this pain and vulnerability into power and wisdom and encourage others to heal, right? But first we have to make peace with it, because some astrologers, and I guess I think so too, feel like you never really heal your Chiron, just like Chiron the centaur, right? He never really healed himself, but he was able to live with the pain and make peace with it. Now, when Chiron transits, hey, Izzy. Yes, Kay, I'm here. We're talking about Chiron and Taurus. When Chiron transits a new sign, collectively, we are facing pain points and insecurities around that zodiac sign. That would be Taurus. So it would be the wound of worth, wounds around security, money, self-confidence, right? Love. These are all themes during the comet's transit through the sign of the bull, okay? If your natal Chiron is in Taurus, it's your Chiron return. Congratulations, I guess. This happens when Chiron returns to the sign and eventually the degree it was in when you were born. This occurs around 50. I'm currently going through my Chiron return. I'm not 50 yet, but it's happening. This is the infamous midlife crisis. Think of this transit as you gaining your wisdom. You're becoming the OG. You're reflecting on the past and things that hurt you and deciding not to carry that pain into the future. You could have old insecurities and hurt reappear, but this is so you can finally address them, right? And attempt to heal them, okay? And accept them. You may experience grief around this hurt oh, really? Oh, so you have a long time, friend, before Chiron and Capricorn. You got years. I said you got years. You may experience grief around this hurt, right? You may even examine issues from childhood, because think about it. His first wound came from childhood, right? So maybe there was something or someone in your childhood, it could have been a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, a relative, that discouraged you from being you, and you carried that pain, and now you got to find your confidence and get your swagger back. My Chiron and Aries besties, gang, don't count your blessings yet, because Chiron is going to retrograde back into Aries September 17th for an encore before entering Taurus in 2027. I think it goes into Taurus again in April. Okay. Friend, you are not having your Chiron return. It's not until, Didi, are you asking me about your Chiron return? Because you're young, all right? It happens when you're around 50, but you look to the house that Chiron will be transiting in your chart, right? Christine, how are you? So I'm going to go through the houses based on the rising sign, and you can get an understanding of like what possibly will come up for you, okay? But we're going to talk about some themes of Chiron in Taurus. Let's see. Material security. Oh, nice. Everybody thought Jagger and I, we both had on New York shirts, and they were like, are you for the Knicks? And I was like, absolutely not. But go Knicks. Congratulations to y'all. Okay. No, wait. Your Chiron is not in Venus, friend. It is in what? Said it was what? It is in what? I don't know. I'm trying to think what Chiron was in 1993. I'm not sure, but it's in a sign. Okay. So if you're a Scorpio rising, then thank you, Carice. It's in Virgo. I agree. Okay. You're in Aries rising. So your Chiron, wait, I'm confused. We're looking at our not our natal Chiron, right? We're looking at where Chiron is going to be transiting. So you're an Aries rising like me. Your Chiron transit's going to happen in your second house, right? Like I use Placidus, so it depends on the degree. But Chiron is going to move from my first into my second house. Okay, and Carice, that makes sense. It stays in a sign for 7 to 8 years. I think it's longest in like Aries and Taurus. Okay, I agree. It's going to retrograde back, but get it out for me, for my sake. Free me, okay? It will retrograde back into Aries for one last hoorah, but then it will be in Taurus. Okay, so here are some of the themes. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. My throat. Sorry. Material security, right? Chiron in Taurus is healing financial fears. You might believe that you'll never have enough money, which leads to like a scarcity-based mindset, as well as you making money moves based on a fear, right? Or hoarding material possessions. Taurus energy can be hoarders. My aunt was a Taurus. I talked about this before. She was a big hoarder. When I tell you, oh my God. Okay. Maybe you cling to a job or stay in a profession out of comfort, even though you know you need a change and you know it's not best for you. You might feel undeserving of the material wealth you desire. I print them backwards. I flipped the image. I Canva. Shout out to Canva. Okay, sorry. Right, as I keep just stopping and chit-chatting. Okay, yes, you might feel undeserving of the material wealth that you desire. Abundance is your birthright. If I could talk, abundance is your birthright. Yes, Maya. So you could look at when Chiron is moving through your second house, it's time for you to handle any fears around money, any scarcity mentalities, any insecurities, any issues in terms of your value. Do you value yourself? Also, why Chiron is in Taurus, for all of us, this is a good time to develop your skills and natural talents, right? The second house, those are things that we're born with. They're gifts that we can tap into, that we can even monetize if we like, right? So maybe there's something that you've been afraid to move on, that while Chiron in Taurus, maybe you're an artist at heart, and during Chiron's transit in Taurus, you're like, I'm going to really start to tap into my art. I'm going to sell my art, or I'm going to just do art because it feels good. Okay. Self-worth. Speaking of self-worth, Chiron in Taurus is healing your self-esteem. If you feel like you aren't good enough, maybe you do, or deserving of love, that can happen. I said if you do. That can come up during Chiron in Taurus's transit. Maybe you're feeling like nobody's going to love me. I'm unlovable. That's not true. Okay. Especially if you're a woman. A man will love on anything. I'm sorry. But okay, the most important love you have is for yourself. So this can bring up some insecurities about our beauty, our worthiness, our talents. If you struggle with self-confidence, get some rose quartz, get a pink candle. This is time for you to do affirmations around self-love. Don't go out seeking love from somebody else. Go inside, turn within, right? And celebrate all the things that you're good at. Nurture your natural talents and gifts. If you're a painter, start painting again. Values. Chiron and Taurus is healing your values. What are your personal beliefs and principles? Are you being true to them? Maybe you're concerned about AI and its impact on the environment, but you're asking ChatGPT to craft a text for your crush. Don't do that, okay? Because that's not living in alignment with your values. You may decide that you only want to support businesses and maintain connections with people that share your similar values. I respect that, okay? Yes. Oh, I love that. My physical safety. Chiron and Taurus is healing insecurities around safety and feeling secure. Maybe on a basic survival level, you worry that you won't have your needs met, that you won't have enough food to eat, that you won't have a roof over your head, you won't have clothes. This may just be a fear, not a reality. Okay, Safa, so you're really going to be feeling the vibes of Chiron. This is more of projection, right? Maybe your domestic life was unstable during childhood. A lot of this can go back to childhood. Remember, he was wounded first by his mother, right? So it could be that you didn't feel comfortable and secure in your home, or maybe your parents were like, we don't have money for that, or, we're going to be poor or whatever. And you tapped into those kind of mentalities. Now, grounding work can be really helpful in activating the root chakra, right? That fight or flight, so you feel safe and comfortable in your body. Speaking of body, we're dealing with body image while Chiron is in Taurus. It's healing our body image. Tony, you're late. How do you feel about your body? Many of us, myself included, are constantly beating our bodies up for not meeting these standards that are unrealistic, right? And fed to us by the media. Love your body. Move your body. Not to punish your body, but to honor your temple, okay? Check in with your body. Because yoga is something that could teach you where you've been storing pain in your physical body. I love that for you. And where you need to release it, right? Emotions, energy, and motion, we often can store painful emotions in our bodies. So tap in. All right, what's the shadow energy of Chiron? We may overindulge, all right? We may want to treat ourselves. Chiron in Taurus, well, I wouldn't say Chiron, but Taurus is about comfort, right? Taurus, if you know a Taurus, hey, LaShawn, they probably like to eat good. They have good snacks. So we do have to be careful about overeating, over shopping, again, hoarding wealth or material items. Maybe we're just tapping in with all the sweet treats. Shout out to my Jupiter and Taurus to like kind of fill a void, to get that comfort. This is also a good time to examine your relationship with material items. Do you really need the latest iPhone? No. Or the fast fashion trend. All that fast fashion is going in a landfill. I'm telling you. They ship it over. When I was doing my community service, they ship it over to like Costa Rica. And have you ever seen those videos? And that shit is just on the side of the road. So whatever you think you're buying, you need to think twice. Okay? I'm going to be honest. When I saw all the stuff that people just brought in there and they were throwing out, I was like, wow, it really turned me off from just buying things all the time. So think, right? How about mindful spending? There you go. I'm not judging you because I feel like we all do it. We live in a society where we're encouraged to spend. And if you got to have the latest. No, you don't. Okay. Back to the shadow energy. Taurus is the zodiac sign associated with food and land. There may be a threat of food shortages. I'm not trying to scare you. Or food insecurity for people. I feel like a lot of people are already food insecure because of the cost of food right now. I don't want to fearmonger because there is no scarcity in nature. And I feel like that's the whole point of Chiron and Taurus, right? Teaching us that, abundance, prosperity, it has to flow. Hoarding things, the 1% hoarding all the wealth, that's not the way. And it's not going to be the way because the stock market's going to crash. Okay, to my next point, right? But before the stock market crashes, grow a community garden, right? Tap in with your neighbors. Say, hey, you grow the beets. I'll grow the lettuce. Like, find community so everyone has access to fresh foods, right? Everyone deserves fresh foods. If you have like a little space or, you could tap in, let's go. Okay, now to the stock market crash. Chiron was transiting Taurus during the Great Depression and the stagflation era of the 1970s and 1980s. Now, I'm not saying the stock market is going to crash, right? That would probably be closer to 2027 and early 2028. when Chiron and Saturn square Pluto in Aquarius, because Saturn will go into Taurus. Okay, yes. That's so true, Maya. Exactly. When you're reaching for something, you have to let go of something else, right? So that's kind of how I feel when I bring new things in. I'm like, let me let this go. But yes, I feel like we're all healing our money wound collectively. So that's for everybody, the global economy. Taurus is the money sign. People always correct me, but I said what I said. Taurus is the money sign. It's associated with the stock market. Only time will tell. When Saturn moves into Taurus, we could see a slowing of the market. Then when we have that square with Pluto and Aquarius, it could get tricky, okay? But again, it's less about, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's about trusting that everyone will be provided for, because abundance has to flow, right? Yes, Maya, exactly. Bull market. And really, we don't want to be hoarding out of a fear. We don't remember when everybody was buying all the toilet paper up during COVID. That was actually crazy. Okay, so there's only one transit to watch in 2026, and that's going to be Chiron in Taurus on July 1st, square Jupiter in Leo at 0 degrees. I'm not so mad at this. It is a friction, right? A square is tension. Chiron is pain. Jupiter is expansion. Maybe the wound opens up, right? It is hard to navigate because fixed signs are stubborn. If you're one of these signs, you already know you're stubborn. So it can be harder for either side to give in. But there is an opportunity to heal because Jupiter is benefic, right? It brings blessings. It brings good vibes. So maybe you meet a mentor or somebody that helps you have a healing breakthrough. Or maybe you just have an epiphany. Maybe you've been avoiding some kind of issue from the past, and now you're tapped in and you're like, I'm going to work it out. I'm going to, figure out what I need to do. I'm going to tap in with a therapist, whoever, and I'm going to work through it. There can be like a crisis of faith here. Maybe you're having to reconnect with your faith. Hey, Mookie, trust the process. Okay, I'm going to get into the horoscopes, and you guys are right on time if you just came in. Let's see. We're going to start. Should I start with Taurus? Because you guys are always like, you should start. I'll start with Taurus because that's easy. And then just remind me. Said remind me. Remind me because I might forget I did Aries. Okay. Taurus, where you at? Chiron in Taurus is revealing how you truly feel about yourself deep down inside, bull. Do you publicly pretend to believe in you but privately doubt your ability to make things happen? Don't be afraid to boss up. Your Chiron return. Okay? And if you feel fears arising around leadership and pursuing your dreams, then it's time to get to the root of the issue. Maybe you've been discouraged as a child from following your passions and encouraged to embrace what a guardian thought was best, right? It's safe to show up as your authentic self and go after your goals. Yes, Chiron and Taurus can be kind of lazy, right? Taurus mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I believe in my potential to achieve greatness. No shade, Mookie. Gemini. Chiron and Taurus is encouraging you to heal from past karmic cycles, twin. You're finding the faith and trust the universe and trusting that the universe has your back. Know that you are always protected and find ways to connect with a higher power during this time. Because, you got to look at the shadow energy too. I'll talk about it after I finish. Maybe you turn to alternative and unconventional healing practices. A spiritual mentor can be helpful to you during this transit. A liberation is occurring, but you may first need to surrender and release control. The 12th house is about surrender. Growth is painful but rewarding. Isolation can lead to big breakthroughs, but don't separate yourself from others because of shame. Gemini mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I choose peace over pressure and faith over fear. I like that. Cancer, it's okay to rest, but we don't want to be lazy, right? I feel like that could be the low vibrational energy of Taurus. Cancer, Chiron in Taurus is healing your friendships, Crabby. Maybe you've been searching for your soul tribe and dealing with drama and a questionable character or two because you deeply desire to be in community. You ever put up with shadiness because you want a friend crew? You don't have to sacrifice yourself for social connection. It might be time to switch up your circles. During this transit, you could be drawn to more spiritually aligned friendships. Find homies that support you and share similar values. You may even change your long-term goals to match the person you are in this present moment. Cancer mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I am worthy of friends that make my heart happy. Another thing, you know what? You don't need to have panic attacks, friend. What was I going to say? Chiron and Taurus too, it's like not being afraid to rest, right? Like I just said, being lazy. It could go either way. It could be where you're lazy, you don't want to do anything, but also where you're just working because you're like, I got to make money. But if you look at the people that have money, they're not working that hard, okay? That's not how you make money, in my opinion. Okay, Leo, did I say the mantra? Cancer mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I'm worthy of friends that make my heart happy. Leo, Chiron and Taurus is healing your public image, lion. Maybe you're suffering from imposter syndrome and lack the confidence to glow up in your career. You're a born leader, but there may be something holding you back, like an insecurity from childhood that prevents you from bossing up. You may feel as though you will never get the applause and awards, but that isn't the case. Your own mentality may be the only thing truly holding you back, not a manager or a higher up. It's time to get to the root of the issue, and that's you. Leo mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I believe in myself and I am destined, for success in my career. Virgo, Mercury in the pre-shadow, sorry. Chiron and Taurus is healing your beliefs, Virgo. Are you honoring your truths or living your life based on ideals that were taught or told to you as a child? It's time to connect with your core values. Maybe this discovery occurs through higher learning or foreign travel. A person of another culture or country could be the key to unlocking the deeper meaning of life. Your own insecurities and lack of confidence may be preventing your growth. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone and abandon traditions that don't serve you. Virgo mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I am open to new experiences and personal growth. Libra, Chiron and Taurus is healing your deep-rooted fears and insecurities. You may be afraid to open up to your partner or closest loved ones out of a fear of rejection. Release the shame around your shadow side. Without the dark, there would be no light. This is a very therapeutic transit, excellent for digging below the surface and bringing the wound to the forefront. You may need to lean on a partner for monetary help. Yikes. Or be transparent about your financial situation. This transit is about vulnerability and honesty when it comes to your feelings and your finances. Libra mantra for Chiron and Taurus. My discomfort deserves acknowledgement. I love that. Scorpio, Chiron and Taurus is healing your relationship, Scorpio. Love can hurt, but it can heal too. Connections have the potential to transform you now. You may be triggered by a partnership in order to finally address a wound that's been dormant below the surface. This is the time to explore your relationship's dynamics. If there's any imbalances, address them, right? This is personal or platonic or professional. You may be staying in connections out of fear of being alone, or that you aren't deserving of love and support. You deserve love, boo. You might be afraid to truly open up and let another in, which keeps you stuck in superficial relationships. You deserve love. You are love. Yes, the love is in you. Scorpio mantra for Chiron and Taurus. My relationships reflect the love I have for myself. Sagittarius, Tony, where you at? Chiron and Taurus is healing your habits, Saggies. It's time to do what's best for your body. Are you working yourself to the point of physical or mental exhaustion or consuming unhealthy foods and substances? I'm like, yes, and I'm not even a Sagittarius. Embrace foods that provide sustenance and are from the earth. This is a great time to grow your own vegetables. If your 9 to 5 is exploiting your labor, aren't they always? You need to switch jobs. You may realize that you deserve better now, and work doesn't have to feel draining to the point where it's taking a toll on your physical body. Sagittarius mantra for Chiron and Taurus. My health is a reflection of the love I give myself. Chiron at some point will conjunct your sun, Tua, okay? And Gracie, it's your Chiron return. Capricorn, Chiron in Taurus is healing your sense of joy. I'll talk about it in just a second. I'm sorry, Cappy. You deserve to have fun. Yes, you do, Capricorn. Maybe you feel guilty when you're relaxing or engaging in activities that bring you pleasure, but life is about balance. You might consider turning your creative talents into a potential career, but an old wound from childhood has you second guessing yourself. Maybe your parents said you'd be a starving artist. That was just projection. Heal your inner child by putting your art on Etsy. You may also deal with some feelings of insecurity when it comes to love and romance. You're deserving of affection, adoration, and attention. Capricorn mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I am experiencing joy in everything I do, and so it is. Aquarius, Chiron and Taurus is healing your home and family, Aqua. Old family wounds are reopened so they could be repaired. Love sucks, I'm dead. You may forgive a partner or a loved one during this time. It's less about the other person and more about you, because forgiveness, why does my voice sound like that, is the gift that you give yourself. On a physical level, you're seeking safety and security at home. On a basic level, you may upgrade your security system, right, to feel safe, but it might go deeper to unpacking what home means to you and how you can create a stable and comfy abode. During childhood, maybe you felt uneasy in your home and are now seeking peace in your current residence. Aquarius mantra for Chiron and Taurus. My physical environment reflects the inner peace I feel. Let's go. Pisces, Chiron and Taurus is healing your communication, Pisces. You're finding your voice and learning to express your emotions, even when it makes you uncomfortable. If you've been holding back on how you feel about a situation, it's time to come clean. Let's go, Pisces. This is a supportive transit for addressing writer's block. If you feel stalled when it comes to a writing project, your words matter and can be healing to others, but you have to share them, right? People have to hear them. Maybe you're being held back by an insecurity from grade school. Remember, this goes back to childhood, this wound, the first wound. This transit also supports healing amongst siblings. So forgive your bro or your sis. Pisces mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I'm comfortable expressing my true self. Thank you, everyone. If your sun is in Taurus, that means at some point Chiron will conjunct your sun, and that's a period where you will heal the ego, right? You will heal any insecurities around you showing up in the world as your authentic self. Your sun is your essence. It's your dreams. Maybe there's some stuff that comes up around leadership. Oh my God, I forgot Aries. Thank you. See, you reminded me. Aries, how could I forget my own rising sign? I didn't. My bad, everyone. I forgot I started with Taurus. Aries. Aries, Chiron and Taurus is here to heal your money wound. This is one of the more important ones. And restore your self-confidence, Ram. If you've been living with a scarcity mindset that tracks back to your childhood, it's time to embrace an abundance mentality. A parent may have claimed that you couldn't afford that toy, that camp, or activity. If you've been hoarding material items in an effort to feel safe, it's time to free yourself of all the stuff you're no longer using. Sell it, right? Or recycle it or donate it. This transit supports discovering and developing your natural talents. Maybe you've been hesitant to monetize a gift that you were blessed with. Aries mantra for Chiron and Taurus. I'm worthy of financial abundance and prosperity.